Good morning. Hey, yo, dude. Dude. Not cool.
Oh my.
Not cool. Why are you doing that? Good morning, friends. Should I put that higher?
Higher?
I feel like the steering wheel's like in the way.
No, look at the top of it.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Alright. It's very muggy outside today. It's definitely gonna rain.
Shit.
Yeah, it's gonna rain like a son of a bitch. So it's Tuesday. Yesterday, I changed up a little bit of my routine. So I wake up in the mornings now, and the first thing I do, I wake up at 4 o'clock instead of 4:30, so about 30 minutes earlier. And I make about 230 grams of egg whites, a whole egg, and about 60 grams of oats. And then I took out the cyclic dextrin that I drink during my workout. And then I just put more carbs after my workout with more oats. And then I have carbs in my beef meal with potatoes. And then I have no more carbs the rest of the day. So essentially, I effectively added another meal in because I feel like I wasn't eating enough. And it's funny, this morning when I woke up after doing this for a full day, I actually was 208.8 pounds, which I usually wake up about 210.4. So I dropped close to about 2 pounds by increasing my food. And I felt like that was going to happen. I knew my protein was way too low, so I increased it about like 30 to 40 grams. And then I front-loaded all my carbs for my workout, and that was like a lot better because I feel like in the mornings I was dragging ass, and I wasn't able to, get the most out of my lifts, and I felt like I was very, very flat because I was coming in with no food, just a little bit of liquid in me, and I carry a lot of mass, so I just decided to try something different, and it's worked out. It's worked out. I actually felt a lot better throughout the day too because I wasn't putting myself in a huge deficit in the morning. Because I feel like when I woke up and I had no calories, I would just push myself to work out really hard. And then I just didn't really have the energy. The pump sucked. The capacity wasn't there. And then I would put myself into this hole energetically. And then I would feel like the rest of the day I was trying to recover from it. So I feel like this is working out a lot better. So I'm enjoying that. Hey, get back inside, my prisoner. Go. Go. Look at this little fucker. What do you want, huh? You can't come. You gotta stay. I'm going to school. Going to work. Go back inside. Where's your brother at? Hey, get your ass over here. Come here. Let's go. Get inside. Come on. Go. Gotta get those little cheeks in there. Put a hustle on it. Go.
Can I kiss?
Yes. Look at that cute little, look at little thumbnail.
Ew, my hair looks like shit.
Who cares? Flip it
No.
then. Flip it. That's a good thumbnail. Come on. Don't waste my time.
I don't want to be in your stupid thumbnail.
There you go. Come on. Fix the hair. Love you. Now get those little cheeks out of here before I beat them. Alright. How much gas do you think I got? You think I got enough? Let me straighten this boy up a little bit. There we go. Oh shit. I don't have much, friends. That's pushing it close. Alright. We are off today, Wednesday. Wednesday is the day I train legs. It's also my shortest day. I also have a social media shoot later with one of our film guys at Lifetime. So maybe I'll get a little bit of clips of that. I don't know. I have my department meeting today as well. And the day's going to end pretty short. I'm very excited. I always love Wednesdays. They're full of meetings. They're like, it's kind of like a shorter day for me. I get to train legs. All in all, it's just a
The source of human aggression. Unlike any other animal, we humans are aware of our own mortality and that we could die at any moment. Consciously and unconsciously, this thought haunts us throughout our lives. We are aware that our position in life is never secure. We can lose our job, our social status, and our money, often for reasons beyond our control. The people around us are equally unpredictable. We can never read their thoughts, anticipate their actions, or totally rely on their support. We are dependent on others who often don't come through. We have certain innate desires for love, excitement, and stimulation, and it is often beyond our control to satisfy these desires in the way we would like. In addition, we all have certain insecurities that stem from wounds in our childhood. If events or people trigger these insecurities and reopen old wounds, we feel particularly vulnerable and weak. What this means is that we humans are continually plagued by feelings of helplessness that come from many sources. If this feeling is strong enough or lasts for too long, it can become unbearable. We are willful creatures who crave power. This desire for power is not evil or antisocial. It is a natural response to the awareness of our essential weakness and vulnerability. In essence, what drives much of our behavior is to have control over circumstances, to feel the connection between what we do and what we get, to feel that we can influence people and events to some extent. This mitigates our sense of helplessness and makes the unpredictability of life tolerable. We satisfy this.
Something to think about, friends. I'm listening to this chapter. It's called The Law of Aggression. And he was talking about how Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller, the oil tycoon, how he was the first billionaire in the world, right? And he basically took the lion's share of all the market of transportation of oil, for kerosene, for petroleum, for refineries. So the way they would like refine oil and transport oil and all the products they use to make oil from like petrochemicals. He basically owned the entire monopoly. And what he would do is when he found competitors, he made such high profit margins that he would show his ledger sheets to these people. And then he'd say, it's futile to fight with me. You're going to sell me your company, otherwise I'm going to destroy you. And so what he'd do is he'd try to buy up all these people's companies. And he did for many years. They just kept selling and selling and selling to him until eventually he owned the first monopoly in the United States. And this whole chapter is about the law of aggression and how aggressive tendencies inside the human animal are usually to help dampen our insecurities and our feelings of helplessness, and to help us secure power and influence. And you can't get rid of it. You can't get rid of it. So everybody has aggressive tendencies, even if they're passive aggressive. And so he's kind of talking about, aggression as a whole and how everybody's on a spectrum, kind of like narcissism. Everybody's on a spectrum. You're not narcissist or not. Narcissism literally means self-love in Latin, right? So it's like everybody's on a spectrum of these things. It's not like black or white. It's not an on or off switch. So he's just kind of utilizing examples in history and then just kind of explaining these laws at large scale and basically how to source aggression, how to discover it in people, how to avoid it, some of the signs to deal with the different types of aggressors, and it's just a lot of very valuable information. Now, if you're in business, or if you're in coaching, or if you just want to generally understand the organization that you work with, because organizations at the end of the day are not companies, they're people. And if you learn to invest into your knowledge of psychology and people, it could significantly impact the quality of your life, right? Because you're able to navigate situations that other people may not be aware of. For instance, he's talking about aggression is completely subconscious. So he goes, we don't even realize that we're doing it sometimes, And that in itself is both a fascinating thing and a terrifying thing simultaneously, because you realize you're operating in a world of people who have no fucking clue that they're being controlled by their emotional core. So Invest some time. And, you know, John D. Rockefeller, the first billionaire ever, said there was no amount of money that he would not invest to understanding human psychology, because he would gauge people's relative psychology in business, and that's what made him so good, is he would try to like determine the strength of their character and their will, and he would try to figure out, is this person able to be influenced? You know, what's the relative resistance level in this person, and what do I need to say and do in order to make this person feel like they need to sell me their company? That being said, good morning, right? Good morning. It's Wednesday, getting the mind right before we train some legs. You know, we're sitting there talking about fucking the law of aggression. You know, I've tried teaching these concepts inside of my meetings, and I don't know how well it was how receptive people were to hearing them, because I think they were like, why the fuck do I need to learn this? Because it's the most valuable skill you can learn, period. If you don't understand people, then you don't understand life, because your life will be populated with people, whether that be friends, your family, your coworkers, your enemies, your allies, like your strangers in public. Like, you're always going to be having some sort of human interface. You know, you're going to be interacting with people. So fucking figure this shit out, friends. Yeah, so I got some legs today. I'm wearing my booty shorts, and I'm excited. I feel carved up this morning. I had about like 90 grams of carbs, which is almost pretty much all the carbs I have for the day on a low day. So I'm doing this carb cycling, and what I'm essentially doing is I'm increasing my carb load on my leg days to try to mitigate any flatness in my legs because of all the cardio that I'm doing. So, and also it's obviously one of the most taxing workouts calorically, which means I burn the most calories training legs. So I want to make sure that I'm restoring those calories in some way, shape, or form, and maintaining fullness. And something that ends up happening too over time is if you keep losing weight rapidly, your body doesn't want to lose weight anymore, right? It's like it's not sustainable to continuously lose weight like that. So what ends up happening is your body will start to lower a hormone called leptin, which is an adiponectin. It's basically a type of hormone that helps shuttle fat. And as you keep losing weight, this hormone keeps declining because your body can't keep losing weight, right? So it's like it tries to slow fat loss. And what you need to do is you need to spike that hormone sometimes, cause some manipulation to your internal chemistry, and through that process, you will actually continue to lose weight and fat specifically. So sometimes adding in that carb cycling can help your body do that. You know, it kind of gets a little bump in the calories, and your body's like, okay, maybe I have extra calories to work with. I'll keep letting go of fat. So you're just kind of tricking it. You're making your body work for you instead of against you, which most people can never seem to figure out. Yes. Well, long rant this morning. We're pushing about 10 minutes on this one. Nagar and I drove separate, obviously. And I am going to go inside now and train some wheels. right, so I just finished up with work. I am outside, and I'm already fucking sweating my ass off. I'm literally dripping sweat right now, and I've been outside for probably like 2 minutes. I'm in the car. It's about 4:13, and I'm heading home. Today was an early day for me, so the last thing I did is I finished up some filming. We did some content today with our film guy, Barrett, and I filmed a reel for Lifetime, basically just kind of exposing some of the service options that we offer within the department, and we had some fun, so I enjoyed that. So probably definitely more of those to come. And as you can see, I shaved. I look like as smooth as a baby's bottom now. It's crazy. I shaved my beard. I look like 10 years younger. All right, so now I'm going to head home, and I am going to relax. You know, I had a high carb day today, so my energy levels were fantastic. Feeling good. And now I'm going to go home and relax. You know, something that I don't usually get to do during the week. So it's about 4:14. Probably get home close to around 5 o'clock-ish. And then we sit there and we wait for Nagar to get off work and to get home. So she'll probably get home closer to like 6:37. So have a little bit of time to myself. What should we do? What should we do? All right, friends. I will see you later. So today is like a big hinge focus day. So we're focusing on hamstrings. We're also focusing on back. So the two things that I wanted to start off with are I use those heel wedges, as you could see in that previous clip, for a RDL. So what that does is it puts my ankles up farther, and it allows me to get a bigger stretch from my butt all the way to my heels. So it increases the range of that stretch. Even though it's just by a few inches, it's significant in terms of the tension, which is why I don't go too heavy with that exercise. So it gives a nice good stretch. Just keep that control, maintain it. And then as you're driving through your hips, you want to try to think about, like, as you lean forward, you're rotating your butt towards the ceiling. And then as you drive your hips forward, you're kind of rotating your butt towards the floor. And then that other movement I did was a good morning. I like to do that with a safety bar. It just feels like it's much more safe for the back because you are putting your back in a vulnerable position when you do that exercise. But the biggest difference is, you know, when you have that safety bar, is you can kind of keep your elbows real narrow and tight opposed to like open like this. So you can actually crunch the abdomen. And when you squeeze those abs, it really takes pressure out of the lower back, even though that is the intent. So I'm trying to focus on like a loaded extension coming out of the pocket because, you know, when you have bad posture, you don't very often focus on doing any type of work where you load the spine and open up. You're always kind of slouching forward. So this is a great way not only to improve posture, but to also get that deep definition into that like lower back area that a lot of people miss. They end up looking soft. So yeah, add that like loaded extension. Just do not go heavy with that exercise. I only put 25s per side, but I had to work my way up to that. So don't use my weight, use a weight you're comfortable with, okay? But that's a great way to help really build up that back development. Okay, up next we're doing a reverse grip barbell row. Now something important to keep in mind when you're doing a barbell row is, especially reverse grip, is you need to keep the wrist straight. A lot of people have the propensity to like actually curl the wrist in. And when you do that, you're gonna get a lot of forearm stress and you're gonna get a lot of bicep activation when you pull that weight. So what you wanna do is keep the wrist into extension, you know, keep it relaxed backwards. That way you can use your elbow as the driver to really pull through. So when I'm grabbing this bar, I'm thinking about going straight back with my elbows. I'm not trying to curl in like this, okay? So extend the wrist down, knuckles facing the floor. I put my thumbs on the bar to help leverage and support my wrist, and then I just drive straight backwards. get a lot of questions on my hamstrings. People ask me, you know, like how do you make them grow? Like how do you get that like bow shape right there? And I think people forget that your hamstrings are like your biceps. And if you're not fucking squeezing them, they're not gonna grow. And I see people that just throw around weight constantly when they're doing hamstring curls, and they're getting a lot of this like pelvic movement, they're getting some thrusting going, and they're not actually holding the squeeze in their hamstring. So the most significant like tip I can give you to really like get that like roundness to your hamstring, like right here, that big dip, is you need to fucking squeeze it, right? Like it owes you some money. So squeeze those hamstrings, lighten up your weight, and if you can't, it's way too fucking heavy. So that is my pro tip for you. You want to build some big legs, you need good hamstring definition, because I can tell you, even if you're stepping on stage, or if you're not stepping on stage, like your legs will not look fully developed. It'd be like if you had no biceps on your arms if you don't have those hamstrings popping out. So if you want to get that nice big swoop and sweep to the hamstring, you have to squeeze them. I'll tell you the hardest part is getting in this machine, but as you notice, I have a little pad under my butt, and that helps elevate my hips so I can get like a bigger squeeze going underneath. Because the higher my hips are, the more I can leverage my heels to get under my body. So instead of it being like a shearing motion going across, it's actually like I'm up higher so I can scoop underneath. You also have to keep the toes pointed up because that'll stretch the entire hamstring and keep your calves out of the movement here. And also play around with your foot's position. You know, angle a little bit. Go to the outside, go to the inside. See where that rotation of the knees will change the way you stretch the hamstrings. So play around with it, see where you feel it best. Fuck, hardest part. Whew. Wow. That's what you need right there, friends. All right, so right now, Nagar came to work, and it's Bring Your Wife to Work Day. So say hello, smile.
Bring your wife to work day, my
Anyway,
ass.
okay, so
Piss
anyway,
off your wife at work day.
listen, I'm very intensive when I go over business, right? And sometimes I do non-negotiables. But right now, what we're doing is we're focusing on trying to grow the business in itself, because there's a lot of opportunity in this department, and there's a lot of growth that needs to be done. We have one of the most significant and lucrative markets, actually, in all of Arizona and actually in the West. Like, we have a lot of money here. Scottsdale is actually the biggest millionaire hub in the world behind Shenzhen, China. If that gives you anything, 15,000 millionaires here. So
There's clubs in China?
no, I'm saying in the world, the city is the most. It's the most highly densely populated millionaires in the world.
Oh, millionaire. What?
Yeah, so it has a lot of opportunity here. There's a lot of money, and what we're trying to do is trying to figure out how to capture that market, because our club needs to do way better than it is right now, especially with that information. So what we're doing is we're sitting down, we're going over strategy, we're kind of game planning here, and we're figuring out the best approach to try to drive some new business and to get a plan in place. So I'm kind of going over my business plan with her right now, and she's the systems person, so she's going to help me figure out how I can get some KPIs going with this, and how I can actually track everything effectively, because admin and KPI tracking are definitely not my strong suits. I'm more of a social driver and leader and sales and marketing mind. So that being said, I need some help with that, and she's going to be the person that's helping me. And I greatly appreciate her, even though I know I'm almost impossible to work with sometimes. So
Almost?
thank you. I appreciate you. So we're going to continue to drive this this business, and find some ways that we can make some adjustments and improvements, because this is a sales-based industry, and if you don't perform, it shows. So it's not like it's a salary job. So the more we do, the more we make. The more we make, the happier people are. So right now we're going to kind of go over some of those metrics. We're going to talk a little bit, and then I got a client at 12:30 in about like 45ish minutes. So from there we'll separate a little bit. Nagar could sit in the office, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
She also got me a coffee, which I finished very quickly. All right, so that is that. Say hello, say goodbye, and we will see you guys in a little bit. All right, I just got done with work, did some cardio, about 40 minutes on the bike. My wheels are smoking. My legs get so vascular now when I do cardio, and I really enjoy it. Looks like I have, I'm not going to say it, dick skin all over, let's just say that. But I had one of the workers stop me, one of the operations guys, and he goes, I wanted to tell you look like Anakin Skywalker. And I said, no, you want to tell me Anakin Skywalker looks like me, Gino Savoni, friend. Like, this right here is my look. I've always been the hooded figure inside the gyms, as long as I can fucking remember, right? It's my persona. I'm like, don't you be giving away my personal brand, son. I was like, that's how people know me. It's always a first point of thing. It's always one of the introductory things that they say to me, too. It's always some sort of comment about my hood. You look like an Assassin's Creed guy. You look like Anakin Skywalker. You look like fucking, whatever. Frodo on his journey. Like, it could be literally anything, right? Except what you're looking at is me. So why don't you just say, you look cool, friend? I don't know. It's not that I look cool or anything. Just lack of better words, we'll say. I am so tired. As you see, my workout this morning, and then I did cardio, and then all day long I was working. So I'm starting to feel the fatigue going downhill. Or the fatigue going uphill? I don't know. I'm feeling my energy deplete rapidly. And now I got to go home, seeing all the people celebrate their 4th of Julys. I've never really been a holiday guy. I don't know. I've never really... I understand the functional purpose. I understand the emotional utility, connection with the family. It's an opportunity to give back, like on Christmas. I get the point. I'm just I'm not very festive of a guy. You know, I like my days relatively being the same for the most part. I like the predictability. I want to make sure I wake up in the morning. I have my morning routine. I want to go to the gym. I want to eat my meals. I want to have my midday energy drink or coffee. You know, I want to do my cardio later in the day. Like, I just want to do my routine. And it doesn't matter if it's a holiday. I remember Lifetime back in Michigan actually used to be open on Christmas Day, which is one of the reasons why I switched to them. They would open up like a few hours past, like, I don't know, like noon or something, and it would be open. But it doesn't matter if it's a holiday. I want to do my same routine. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. My wife's like that too, actually. All right, so now speaking of wives, I got to go home and I got to go tend to her because she's been home most of the day by herself, besides the little time that she came in, did her workout, and then spoke to me a little bit about the business stuff. But now I'm going to go home, spend the rest of the day with my wife. We'll make some food in a little bit, and then that'll be the day. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to end the vlog here. I'm not really sure how much I got in this one, to be honest. It feels like I haven't filmed some days. I don't even remember what I filmed, because my energy is just like not there. I just pick it up and start saying shit sometimes. And sometimes I go on a rant. And then when I go back to edit it, I'm like, oh, that shit's too long. You know, like you don't want to see all that. Or maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe I'm making assumptions. Maybe I'm ranting again. Who knows? So I'm going to end this vlog here. You know, thanks for watching. You know, if you made it this far, you know, I appreciate the watch. I enjoy making these. I want to continue to make these. And I just want to show as much as possible. And if you think there's something that you want to see more of or hear more of, then go ahead and drop me a comment down below. If not, just give me a thumbs up and continue to watch the videos. Thank you, friend. You have yourself a beautiful, beautiful day.